we are taking a look at the Sora token, XOR Sora token, looking at its birth chart using the Genesis date, the date that it was released to the public, and looking at the strengths and some important dates to keep track of. Sora is a new economic system that decentralizes the concept of a central bank, as well as a network that implements a parachain to the Polkadot ecosystem managed by the Sora community. Sora Mitsu has also contributed to building the Sora network and PolkaSwap, along with other builders in the community. Excels at providing tools for decentralized applications that use digital assets, bridging tokens to other blockchains, and creating programmatic rules involving digital assets. PolkaSwap decentralized exchange is built on the Sora network. So the date that I found was July 30th, 2020. So I'm taking a look at some key points in the chart that I feel, after researching various people's philosophies and techniques, these are the points to look at to understand the chart. Again, we can take a deeper dive into this, but for time purposes, we're just going to do these certain points to get a better overview of this coin. So the ascendant, right here. My drawing is not the best, but it is at 29 degrees of Taurus. What is Taurus? Taurus is the sign, it's an earth sign. It rules over finances. It rules over physical things, silver, gold, metals, secure items that are security. And it's at 29 degrees. 29 degrees is the energy of Leo. Leo is that bold, it's a bold sign. It's a leader, it's grand, it's charismatic. 29 degrees is like the mature, it's a very mature Leo energy. Could be a challenge there because it's at the end. It's at the end of these, goes from 0 to 29 degrees in the zodiac, in this birth chart here, and then it moves to the next sign. So the 29 degrees, it's like it's graduating from the Taurus, graduating, getting ready to, energies of getting ready to move up. I feel that this is it's like a mature type of energy. We have the sun in Leo, which I find very interesting, that the ascendant is at 29 degrees. 29 degrees represents Leo, that Leo energy. And then you have the sun in the sign of Leo. So a lot of fire here, a lot of fire in this chart. Sun is in Leo at 6 degrees. 6 degrees represents the sign, the energy of Virgo. So it is very step by step, detail oriented, wanting to get the job done. Virgo represents the work that we do. So it's very, I feel like this is a very hands-on type of energy of this coin. It's getting the job done. And you'll see that it's right at that IC line. Real quickly, let's go over what the IC is. Imium Coli. Similar to the moon, your IC explores the deepest depths of your inner world and underpins what kind of domestic foundation you should create for yourselves. The IC can help illuminate the depths of your soul and give you clarity about who you truly are. In my own opinion, in the IC line and the sun being next to it, because again, Bitcoin sun is next to it, Polkadot sun was next to it. There's quite a few coins that have the sun next to this IC line. I feel like it gives the coin this distinction. A distinct, this is what the coin's about, this is what it represents, this is just a distinction to it. And this is just my theory, I'm not saying this is correct, and something that I've been noticing, and I will continue to keep an eye on it because I feel like it's signifying something. And I've looked up other coins that I try to find coins that don't have the sun next to the IC. And some of those coins I've found have not have been shit coins and just fizzled out. The projects didn't work out. I'm going to keep an eye on it and continue to chart it. This is what I've noticed so far, that the coins with the suns next to the IC seem to have longevity to them. So let's keep going. The MC line. MC line is that line, it's the very top of the chart. It's how the world views it and sees it, how it presents itself to the world. It's at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. Excuse me. It's at 9 degrees of Aquarius. Aquarius is the innovative energy, technology. This is great for it. Very technologically predominant in the world. Out of the box thinking. Very unique, which is good in the crypto world because you don't want a coin that's the same as 500 other coins. You want something unique and to stand out. It's at 9 degrees. That 9 degrees is the energy of Sagittarius, another fire sign. The ascendant's at a fire sign. The ascendant is in Taurus, which is an earth sign, but the degree represents that Leo fire energy. The sun is in Leo. It's a fire sign. That 9 degrees is Sagittarius. That's another fire energy, Sagittarius. Sagittarius has to do with that independence, freedom loving, like wild and free. Higher knowledge and learning, teaching as well. Teaching others things, helping others along by teaching them different things, different ways of doing something. These points are very important to look at, and I'm pointing them out because in trading, they signify when planets or points make a transit or make an aspect to them, it's a big signifier that there's going to be a move in the coin, price-wise. Before we look at the Neptune-Venus line, let's take a look at this vertex. The vertex is a line, there's a point in the chart that signifies where you can find them, not find the most fortune, fated events can happen in this specific area that really propel, in this case, the coin forwards, that really help to benefit the coin. This is at 28 degrees in the 6th house, in the sign of Libra. 28 degrees represents Cancer. Libra is that balance, justice. 6th house is that Virgo energy when the sun is at 6 degrees. It's the work. It's the work that it does. So whatever the work that this coin is doing to help bring balance, justice, fairness, equal opportunity to people, financial tools, could be somewhat beneficial to this coin. I'm not going to go too deeply into that. I just wanted to touch on it. This is the Mars-Neptune midpoint. Mars-Neptune midpoint is a very important thing to know and look at in a chart for business, for companies, for coins. Because if there's a point that lands on, that sits on that line, then the coin does not have the longevity of the coin is not as strong. The midpoint between that Neptune-Mars line is 3 degrees of Aries and 3 degrees of Libra. And on this chart, there's nothing at 3 degrees of Aries or at 3 degrees of Libra, which is good, which is fantastic. Yes, there's nothing there. Wonderful. So that is a good sign from the get-go. So quickly, before we look at some key dates to look at moving forward, I just wanted to show you something that I found very interesting. The all-time high for this coin was April 6th, 2021. I believe it went up to $900. I want to say $81. I could be off a little bit. I found that very interesting because the price that it is now, when I last looked, I think it was about 22 cents. But on April 6th, 2021, the moon, the transiting moon, was conjunct the midheaven. And that's when that was the all-time high price. It was in the 10th house. I don't know the other transits that were going on to help influence this. This could also be why the coin fell, the price fell so much from the all-time high. Could have something to do with Pluto moving over, being conjunct and moving over Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn. It's a big deal when Pluto moves over and touches your planets in your chart. In any chart, it transforms them. It, breaks them down, and then the rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes. But you can see that the midheaven, the ascendant, they're very influential. The planets are making aspects to these points. It's a huge signifier that there's going to be some movement in the price of the token. The market as well, but the token specifically we're looking at. I'm just looking at conjunctions. There are so many transits that we can look at. I'm specifically just pointing out conjunctions because I'm looking for if there's a transit going on with other planets that is conjunct the ascendant, the midheaven, and some other points in the chart. November 23rd, the Sun and Mars will be conjunct that DSC line. That's across from the ascendant line. It's another point. I haven't gone over what it is. I'll put it on my screen what it means. January 28th, 2024, the Sun and Pluto will be conjunct in its 9th house, conjuncting Saturn. And then on the 27th, Mercury, which is another important transiting planet to watch out for, and Mars, will be conjunct Jupiter. And then Mercury and Pluto will be conjunct Saturn. On February 5th, 2024. The next time something meets up with Sora's coins midheaven is February 22nd, 2024. It's going to be Venus and Mars. They're going to be crossing over the midheaven. So that is a very important date to look out for. I forgot to mention the rulers of this chart. The ruler of this coin's chart is Venus, because the ascendant is 29 degrees of Taurus. It's Venus. The ruler of the midheaven is Uranus, so that's a very important planet to look out for. And the sun is in Leo, so it's actually the sun, which is very, very good. The sun is in its home sign. I forgot to mention that. So Venus, Uranus, and the sun are important planets to look out for. So February 17th, 2024, when it's Pluto will be conjunct Saturn, very important. That's a very key date to look out for. And Venus and Mercury retrograde, will be conjunct Mars April 19th, 2024. May 18th, the Sun and Jupiter will be conjunct the Ascendant. And on the 23rd, Venus and Jupiter will be conjunct the Ascendant. Those I feel are very key, important dates to look out for. And if you'll notice, planets and points will be conjunct the Ascendant April-May area because it's in the sign of Taurus. That's the Taurus season, is April, at the very end of April, May. Same as the midheaven. It's in February because it's in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is from February. That's when there's usually the most, real highs or maybe real lows. It'll be around these times of the year. These transits are influenced by other transits. So because it's going, Venus and Mars will be conjunct its midheaven, doesn't mean it's going to go up, doesn't mean it's going to go down. If nothing else is influencing it in a negative way, yes, it will go up. But if there's a secondary transit going on, a square to something else, it could, or a square to the midheaven by another planet, it will influence this transit. It is not. And one other thing I need to point out is, in any chart, the Venus, the Mars, Neptune line, you don't want it in its birth chart. You don't want any planets or points interacting there in the birth chart. In the transiting chart, there'll be a transit that's going to land on that or interact with that, and that's just a time to know that things could get very volatile. The price could go down. There could be an issue. All in all, I feel that this coin has longevity to it. It has a lot of positive influences in its chart. It does have an 18 degrees of Mercury, and it also has 22 degrees. I thought I saw 22 degrees of Venus. Again, this is not indicating that the coin is going to, and it's not in the second house, those points. It's in the first house, it's in the third house. It's indicating that there are some difficulties in this coin. Overall, though, I feel it's a strong token. It has longevity to it. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you have any questions or comments, and I'll talk to you guys soon.